Scammers promising romantic relationship with Brad Pitt con 2 women out of €325,000. Sweden says Iran was behind thousands of text messages to Swedes calling for revenge over 2023 Quran burnings. In the U.S., secret scammers promising romantic relationship with Brad Pitt con 2 women out of €325,000. Sweden says Iran was behind thousands of text messages to Swedes calling for revenge over 2023 Quran burnings. In the U.S., Secret Service uniformed officer accidentally shoots himself while on duty.
Chechen warlord Ramzan Kadyrov says Elon Musk remotely disabled his Tesla Cybertruck. With "That's not manly," Chechen warlord claims Elon Musk disabled his Tesla. Putin tells Russians to take work breaks and make babies, and reportedly, Russian offices monitoring childbirth of employees after Vladimir Putin's call. A North Korean trash balloon hits a Seoul government compound, again.
Police say a pair took an NYC subway train on a joyride and crashed it. They have arrested one teen. Starmer's free tickets for Arsenal and Taylor Swift part of job, says Minister. And Keir Starmer's £35,000 in free tickets puts football regulator plans under scrutiny. Trump says he's been too busy to read Melania's forthcoming memoir, in which she attacks the FBI, questions the Secret Service, and defends her nude modeling work. Overseas threats hit the Ohio city where Trump and Vance lied about Haitians eating pets. In the U.S., suspicious mail containing white powder sent to election offices in at least 16 states. Russian election interference efforts focus on the Harris and Walz campaign, as fake Kamala hit and run story is the work of Russian propaganda group, Microsoft says.
Lack of recognition for same-sex unions in Poland violates human rights, rules European Court. Russia and U.S. religious conservatives see common foe in Africa, the gay rights. Malaysian police rescue 187 more children as sex abuse probe of Islamic group deepens.
The Guardian reports that far higher pesticide residues allowed on food since Brexit. Half of NHS maternity units slammed by CQC as inadequate or requires improvement. Cambridge Research asks UK government to reduce pint size of drinks as per study. 2/3 measure could boost English health. Global Vaccine Alliance gave to buy 500,000 doses of mpox vaccine, as Bavarian gets order for 500,000 pox shots for Africa. Rwanda begins vaccinations against monkeypox, amid a call for more doses for Africa. Scientists identify new blood group after a 50-year mystery.
Antarctica's doomsday glacier is set to retreat further and faster, scientists warn. Medieval DNA suggests Columbus didn't trigger syphilis epidemic in Europe. In the US, FTC sues 3 largest drug middlemen for allegedly inflating insulin prices. 1 million are now dead or injured in the Russia and Ukraine war. Hezbollah is hit by a wave of exploding pagas that killed at least 9 people and injured thousands, and Hezbollah vows retaliation against Israel for deadly pager explosions. In the US, Senate Republicans again block legislation to guarantee women's rights to IVF. iPhone 16 won't include stickers in the box. Google tests desktop windowing for Android tablets. Meta to start using public posts on Facebook, Instagram in UK to train AI. United Airlines signs deal with Starlink for free in-flight Wi-Fi.
Apple seeks dismissal of its NSO Group lawsuit, citing risk of exposing vital security information. 2 years ago, Apple sues NSO Group to curb the abuse of state-sponsored spyware. Alternative app stores will be allowed on Apple iPad in the EU from September 16th. Researchers find Apple Vision Pro's eye tracking exposed what users type.
Russia's global chess ban upheld. Move hailed as a victory for Ukraine by FIDE. Vince McMahon slams Netflix doc Mr. McMahon as deceptive. A lot has been misrepresented to leave viewers intentionally confused. In Brazil, athletes involved in betting will lose government grants.
Broadway theaters to dim lights in memory of James Earl Jones. The Cure announced first new song in 16 years, Alone. Czech man arrested for deliberately smashing Ai Weiwei sculpture at Italy art show opening.
Previously unknown Mozart music unearthed in German library. Reportedly, online poker is full of bots, allegedly used by the poker rooms themselves. As Bloomberg reports, the Russian bot army conquered online poker. Netflix co-CEO Greg Peters says, The streamer wants Netflixify the NFL, never say never to other sports rights.
28 years later, Danny Boyle's new zombie flick was shot on an iPhone 15, The Passion of the Christ, sequel to begin filming in 2025, with Jim Caviezel returning as Jesus. YouTube plans major revamp of TV app after overtaking Netflix, streaming rivals.
United Airlines says Taylor Swift concerts drove 25% uptick in demand. Metallica extends M72 World Tour with 2025 North American dates with Pantera and Limp Bizkit. In South Africa, Parliament debates replacing TV license with household levy as battling SABC seeks more state funding and household levy. MPs here.
Theatre owners plan to spend $2.2 billion to modernize and upgrade moviegoing experience. Hallmark unveils 47 holiday films as part of 15th annual countdown to Christmas. Jennifer Lee steps down as Disney Animation's chief creative to make Frozen sequels.
Mr. Beast, Amazon sued by contestants on Beast Games competition show, with allegations including sexual harassment and chronic mistreatment. UEFA warns England could face Euros ban over Sir Keir Starmer's plans for football regulator. The Sims movie from Margot Robbie set to include pools without ladders and other lore.
Sean Diddy Combs arrested after grand jury indictment. Beetlejuice 2 breaks box office records. As it's revealed, the Tim Burton sequel almost went straight to streaming. Bloomberg reports that Disney will introduce 4 new, always-on channels to Disney Plus in late 2024. Hallostream, Hits and Heroes, Throwbacks, and Real Life.
Netflix in talks with BuzzFeed on Hot Ones live show. Bloomberg says Google's free TV channels for Google Android TV to now be called FreePlay. Crunchyroll to stream Dragon Ball Daima anime on October 11th.
Boiler Room partners with Champion to celebrate dance cultures from around the world. Mr. Beast strikes Amazon deal for biggest competition series in TV history. PSG reportedly still owes millions to Kylian Mbappé for unpaid wages and bonuses. Tablet use by young children is linked with more outbursts of anger and frustration, as children handed tablets early in life are angrier later on, research finds. Childhood ADHD and subthreshold symptoms are associated with cognitive functioning at age 40. Announced in a cohort study on perinatal birth risks, cryptocurrency trading causes lower quality of life and higher stress.
Higher burden of comorbidity linked to worse clinical outcomes in multiple sclerosis. Research identifies nearly 200 potential breast carcinogens in food packaging materials. New progenitor cell type discovered may aid in tissue repair and generation.
Octopuses recorded hunting with fish and punching those that don't cooperate. Blind cavefish grow bizarre taste buds on their face as they age. Observations confirm that early universe quasar neighborhoods are densely populated with companion galaxies.
Hundreds of mysterious Nazca glyphs have just been revealed. European immigrants introduced farming to prehistoric North Africa, new research shows. Enigmatic archaeological site in Madagascar may have been built by people with Zoroastrian origins, research suggests. Studies confirm potential indicators of life on other planets can be created in a lab. Microgravity decreases heart rate and arterial pressure in humans. Sources of water and hydroxyl are widespread on the Moon, new analysis of maps finds.
Quantum entanglement observed at Large Hadron Collider in historic breakthrough. Black hole blasts largest jet ever seen, at 23 million light-years long. As astronomers discover biggest ever seen black hole jets, which blast hot plasma well beyond their own host galaxy.
Food fussiness, a largely genetic trait from toddlerhood to adolescence, study suggests, and picky eating is largely genetic and peaks at the age of 7, scientists say. Vegans' intake of protein and essential amino acids is adequate, but ultra-processed products are also needed. In the US, FDA sampling finds milk in 6.2% of dairy-free chocolate products.
Powered by renewable energy, microbes turn CO2 into protein and vitamins. Your old-school friend's genes could be impacting your health, study finds. Oceanic life found to be thriving thanks to Saharan dust blown from thousands of kilometers away. Scientists call for global action on microplastics, now found in more than 1,300 species. Research predicts rise in tropical hydraulic failure. Brain implant can now let man control Amazon's Alexa with his thoughts. Scientists use magnetic nanotech to safely rewarm frozen tissues for transplant. Research shows that human children learn to play house and pretend surprisingly early. As we learn to pretend surprisingly early in our lives, study shows.
Online dating caused a rise in U.S. income inequality, research paper shows. Prolonged unemployment is associated with control loss and personal as well as social disengagement. Catching up on sleep on weekends may lower heart disease risk by up to 20%. Colorblind people tend to be less picky eaters, new research shows. Study identifies brain regions that are almost twice as large in people living with depression. Low in carb, high in fat diets boost diabetes risk. Musk's Neuralink gets FDA's breakthrough device tag for blind sight implant. Scientists discover third state between living and dying that could redefine death. Scientists discover new evidence Earth may once have had a ring like Saturn.
Storm Boris kills 15 as floods continue to ravage Central Europe. Cuba slashes size of daily bread ration as ingredients run thin. The Lancet announced that more than 39 million deaths from antibiotic-resistant infections estimated between 2024 and 2050 suggests first global analysis, as drug-resistant bacteria deaths projected to rise 70% by 2050.
Cloudflare launched a brand new easy button to block all AI bots. Apple Intelligence will take up an extra 4 gigabytes of iPhone storage. Snapchat taps Google's Gemini to power its chatbot's generative AI features.
Constellation CEO says U.S. should copy China to meet AI power use. AI will be more intelligent than humans in a few thousand days, says OpenAI CEO. India to get first national security semiconductor fabrication plant as part of collaboration with U.S.
In the U.S., cops use AI-generated 14-year-old girl to lure sex criminals. Runway and Lionsgate are partnering to explore the use of AI in film production. OpenAI threatening to ban users for asking Strawberry about its reasoning.
3 Mile Island's nuclear plant to reopen, help power Microsoft's AI centers. UAE's AI firm G42 and Nvidia to team up on climate tech. OpenAI to decide which backers to let into $6.5 billion funding.
OpenAI expands O1 AI models to enterprise and education, competing directly with Anthropic. Amazon Ads launches a new AI video generator. China's Alibaba launches over 100 new open-source AI models, releases text-to-video generation tool.
California Governor Gavin Newsom signs AI bills that give performers greater protections and control over their likenesses, limit use of election deepfakes. Google will begin flagging AI-generated images in search later this year, as AI-generated and edited images will soon be labeled in Google search results. Snap's new AI feature lets you create Snapchat lenses by simply describing them.
Rockstar Games deduced heavily by players protesting new anti-cheat code. Sonic Central Stream announced offering sneak peek of Sonic in 2025. Valve reportedly working on ARM64 Proton compatibility layer for Linux gaming.
Google TV and Android TV OS see dramatic growth to 270 million devices, up 80% since 2023. Logitech has created a Stream Deck for Photoshop and Premiere Pro, as Logitech MX Creative Console is an Adobe-centric Loop Deck successor. Windows 11 is getting handoff feature that lets you resume work from phones to PCs, even from iPhones. Scientists reveal the type of virtual backgrounds associated with Zoom fatigue. TikTok expands subscription feature to include non-live creators. Huawei announces 10,000 apps support Harmony OS next, after blocking Android apps. Discord announces its own audio and video end-to-end encryption, DAVE protocol. In Germany, coalition government wants random identity checks and searches almost everywhere. Japanese company develops glass antenna that turns Windows into 5G base stations.
New PondRAT malware, hidden in Python packages target software developers. Chinese hackers exploit geo-server flaw to target APAC nations with Eagle Door malware. Critical flaw in microchip ASF exposes IoT devices to remote code execution risk.
Apple's former design maestro Johnny Ive confirms he's joined forces with OpenAI's Sam Altman for a new AI hardware project. X is reportedly now complying with orders from Brazil's Supreme Court. Chip giants TSMC and Samsung discuss building Middle Eastern megafactories.
UK risks falling behind in AI race if it does not invest in more data centers, says Google. Reuters reports that US to propose ban on Chinese software, hardware in connected vehicles. Hyundai electric vehicles to add North American charging standard.
Perplexity partners with Nike, Marriott on AI ads to challenge Google. Axios reports that half of U.S. states seek to crack down on AI in elections. Governor Newsom signs landmark bill to protect kids from social media addiction. Bans companies from sending notifications to users identified as minors between midnight and 6 a.m. or during the school day, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. unless parents give the okay. Mark Zuckerberg calls Meta the opposite of Apple and questions its product strategy. YouTube confirms it'll show ads when you pause videos. Apple poised to introduce self-developed 5G modem in iPhones by 2025, as iPad to debut Apple's new Wi-Fi chip in 2025, with iPhone SE launching 5G modem.
iOS 18.1 to enable RCS for iPhone users in China. Disney to stop using Slack, following hack that exposed company data. Tor says it's still safe amid reports of police de-anonymizing users. 2 weeks ago it has been reported as German police raid Tor linked group, in bid to uncover Tor network users. macOS Sequoia update breaks networking for VPN, antivirus software. Microsoft releases a new Windows app called Windows App, for running Windows apps. Real-time Linux is officially part of the kernel, after decades of debate. Amazon launches AI selling assistant Project Amelia to boost seller growth. Kabam to shut down Disney Mirrorverse, after making $34 million in mobile revenue. Palworld maker vows to fight Nintendo lawsuit on behalf of fans and indie developers. 1 day ago, Nintendo sues Pokémon with Guns video game firm. Sabrina Carpenter announces Netflix holiday special.
Massive China state IoT botnet. Raptor train went undetected for 4 years, and Chinese spies built massive botnet of IoT devices to target U.S., Taiwan military. In the U.S., Justice Department disrupts vast Chinese hacking operation, Flax Typhoon, that infected consumer devices. Microsoft warns of new Inc. ransomware targeting U.S. healthcare sector.
NASA's Hidden Figures awarded Congressional Gold Medal for groundbreaking work. Space Perspective completes major uncrewed test flight of Neptune 2 years ago. Space Perspective unveils balloon-like spaceship for outer space tourism. Microsoft's struggling military AR headset gets boost from Oculus founder's latest venture, as Enduro collaborates with Microsoft to bring Lattice to the U.S. Army's IVAS program.
Zack Snyder reveals first look at Netflix's Rebel Moon video game, Bloodline. Flappy Bird's original creator says he has nothing to do with the new game, as Flappy Bird is back, relaunched on Telegram. Amazon joins Motion Picture Association, as entertainment and tech converge.
Wall Street Journal reports that Qualcomm approached Intel about a takeover in recent days. Apple's A16 chips now being manufactured in Arizona TSMC plant. Google Password Manager lets you store and sync your passkeys across Windows, macOS, Linux, and Android. Older Windows PCs can no longer play some DRM-protected content.
Skywatcher and satellite tracker photographs U.S. Air Force's secret space plane in orbit. Second-generation Starlink satellites leak 30 times more radio interference, threatening astronomical observations, as Musk satellites are making it harder to study black holes. Comet of the century to light up the sky in October 2024. Hackers exploit default credentials in foundation software to breach construction firms. New Brazilian-linked Samba spy malware targets Italian users via phishing emails. Team TNT hackers attacking VPS servers running CentOS.
Reuters reports that Google offered to sell part of ad tech business, not enough for EU publishers. YouTube supercharges Shorts with DeepMind's VO AI, with custom backgrounds, easy 6-second clips. Tumblr reports 350% user growth, following excess ban in Brazil.
Snapchat reserves right to put AI-generated images of users' faces in My Selfie ads. The United Nations wants to treat AI with the same urgency as climate change. Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff says he uses ChatGPT as a therapist.
Twitch introduces new depreciating strike program, and Twitch unveils brand-customized Fortnite game World the Glitch, ahead of TwitchCon. Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos calls on competitors to release viewership numbers. Disney star seeks $940 million in damages from Z for not meeting ICC broadcasting rights payment deadlines.
Snap unveils latest AR glasses despite ongoing struggles in core ad business, as Snap's extremely large spectacles bring impressive AR to developers at $99 a month. EssilorLuxottica and Meta announced long-term partnership to collaborate into the next decade to develop multi-generational smart eyewear products. Instagram makes teen accounts private as pressure mounts on the app to protect children.
Australian police infiltrate encrypted messaging app Ghost and arrest dozens. RCS texts on the iPhone aren't encrypted now, but that could change. Uber will now verify riders as a safety measure for drivers.
Meta faces hefty EU antitrust fine over classified ads practices. Google wins challenge against $1.66 billion EU antitrust fine. EU picks tech enforcer who helped write its social media rules. 2 days ago, EU tech enforcer and Musk antagonist Thierry Breton quits.
Temu and SAP refute claims of data breach made on hacker forums. Alibaba cloud servers being carefully dried after firefighter drenching last week, following fire incident in Singapore Availability Zone C data center. Indonesia's go-to to use cloud services from Alibaba Cloud in a 5-year deal.
Microsoft has scrapped Edge's big UI refresh with rounded tabs. Slack brings agents, purpose-built AI, and CRM data into one work operating system. As Slack now lets users add AI agents from Asana, Cohere, Adobe, Workday, and more. IBM wins $45 million over Zynga Games infringing 2 patents.
TikTok faces skeptical judges in court fight over looming national ban. Meta bans RT, days after U.S. accused Russian outlet of disinformation. Amazon tells employees to return to office 5 days a week. Sextortion scams now use your cheating spouse's name as a lure.
Cloudflare have found that 20% of all internet connections are abruptly closed before any useful data can be exchanged. Apple leaks new Mac Mini with 5 USB-C ports. Blue Sky reaches 10 million users.
Microsoft unveils multiplayer AI collaboration tool for work, trying to overcome Copilot qualms, as Copilot Pages is Microsoft's new collaborative AI playground for businesses. Omnipresent AI cameras will ensure good behavior, says Larry Ellison. China proposes mandatory red flags placed on all AI-generated content posted online.
Intel stock soars late on foundry plans. Amazon AI deal after jumping on $3 billion federal funding. Intel reportedly lost PlayStation 6 chip design contract to AMD in 2022, the $30 billion deal. Apple rolls out iOS 18, iPadOS 18, watchOS 11, tvOS 18, macOS Sequoia, and visionOS 2. New Zelda game doesn't have Link as the main playable character. As Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom gameplay leaks online. Sam Altman told OpenAI staff the company's non-profit corporate structure will change next year. Even Facebook couldn't compete with Google, former ad chief says. Aramco Digital and Grok announce progress in building the world's largest inferencing data center in Saudi Arabia.
Port of Seattle confirmed that Resider ransomware gang was behind the August attack. Ford seeks patent for tech that listens to driver conversations to serve ads. Apple confirms 8 GB RAM in